My name is STEADMAN Scott, a founder of a Fiwi training center based in Brixton Recreation Center. I've been living in this country from 1967, so it's over 50 years.
And that's just been in Brixton?
Well, as long as, you see, we have a say as Brixtonian, is as long as we are out, we make sure, no matter where we go in London or in England, before we go home, we have to always drive past Relton Road. That was like our spiritual home. So we always, don't matter where you go, if we go Manchester, if we go Liverpool, if we go the other side, as soon as we come back into London, the first place we go, we drive past Relton Road and then go home.
Okay.
I mean, so this is our spiritual home.
So you mentioned your company. What's the name of your company again, and what do you do?
The company is called Fiwi. It's for us. It's making, our logo is making the impossible possible. It's about knowing what the problem is, and I think for you to know the problem, you have to live it. In my case, I have lived the problem because I've been a young person in the community where one grows up, and especially in my time, being the first generation of youngsters to be educated in this country from the Windrush. So we get the first, what you call, full force of racist and the discrimination and not feeling like it belongs, no self-esteem, no vice. These are all things that we encounter as a youngsters. So my experience is that. So that's why FIWI is about understanding the problem and creating things to actually uplift our youngsters. And that's what FIWI is about. It's about having an environment where we, the coach, have to know that said, we have built a bridge between our community and the professional organization, like for instance the football and the boxing. We have linked the bridge between our community and all the professional academy. So during the 20-something years, Fiwi has been operating first as a training center mainly for football youngsters. We supply over 100 young people to these academy. We have over 40 still in the academy. Out of these 40-something, we have 20-something who are professional or have their scholarship. We also have 7 of them who play for the national team in various ages. So we have youngsters who, now we got players who, one in Canada, one playing Canada, a young lady gone to American University playing football professional. We got a young man who gone to Germany, and we got the next one who's gone to Holland. We got one of them who playing in Scotland. So it's about we knowing that, say, the community, you see, the clubs ain't coming into our community to take out our young person, that is for sure. So it's for we as a community to know that, said, if we need changes into this country, it's about we knowing that it's our responsibility. We have to be the one who be we call the forerunner. Go out, get qualified, come back in, fix the program that we know our community need, our youngsters need. Not listen to the council, not listen to the government. I'm sorry, I don't have no trust in the government or the council. They do not have our interest of art. That is a thing. They maybe say to you, oh no, that is wrong. But I've got to stop and say to myself, as a youngsters, my parents bring us from Jamaica to actually improve our life, to give us better opportunity. They never know that there was a racist issue over here because of who you are. Right? We are the first generation on this planet, and yet we are the last generation. We didn't realize that until when we come to this country. And why do you hate me and I haven't done you anything? You see, we watch our mothers and fathers suffer embarrassment when they go to work doing these meanest job and have to take insult and come home crying, but they can't leave it because they're there to look after us. okay? Our parents comes here when they was adults. We happen to grow up into the environment, in school, in classes, with mainly white, with all white kids. So we have to learn the English way. So when we left school, our outlook was the same as the white kids that we go into. And when we find out that we didn't have the same path or the same opportunity, we decide not to follow our folks to go and do a meaningless job, don't get self-esteem. So we decide to embark on the street, understand England. And during the time you understand in England, what you find out that said, these people didn't want us to explore the country or try to understand it. Be like your parents, find a meaningless job, find some labor job, not even a professional job, find some labor job and be contented just to be in this country and get your money and just go back home and sleep. But we couldn't do that. So what it means, I said, they now bring up new laws, suspected person, unattempted theft. A lot of my generation was convicted by suspected person and attempted theft. And I personally think because of the 1981 riot and the Lord's Common were reports stating that the British institution are racist against black people and people of color, I think every one of us in my community and beyond who's got suspected person and attempted theft, those convictions should be scrapped because it was illegal. That ruined our life. That stop us now from ever moving forward. So what it does is once you have these convictions, as soon as the police officer stop you onto the street and you realize that you've got suspected person, even though anything he said is gospel, and everything that you said is garbage. That was what we encounter, and that is the main thing why the 1981 riot happened into this country. Change everything.
So you spoke about, issues and problems that we have in our community, and obviously a major one is racism. Do you feel that there are any other problems in the community?
Racism is a major problem.
Yeah.
Once that problem is solved, as I say to a person, I want the same opportunity as every other English person. I don't want no favor. You understand? All I don't want to be different. I love the country. I love the British society. That's what we come here. But what I don't like, which I didn't realize, is the discrimination against black people and people of color. So as a person growing up here with your kids and grandkids coming after, it's an issue that I can't afford to sit by and let it go by. I've got to be able to say, okay, how can you get to a place where you can speak of these things here constantly? Even if a person thinks that, oh my God, I don't really like that subject, I'm going to give it to you because it's essential. Whether or not you're bored of it, that is your problem. Our youngsters are murdering off each other. Our life is in danger. Our kids, your grandkids, and so on. So if we sit here and just allow these things to happen and keep blaming ourselves, not looking at the bigger picture, the bigger picture is the system have to take responsibility. They are our parents. Whether or not you accept it, the system is your parents. It's there to provide right for you, do what's best for you. But the system isn't doing it in our case. We're sitting back and we're allowing these things. I think that as a black person and people of color, we should start to use our vote. And we should start to dictate that the politician who's going up there, if he doesn't understand our view, we shouldn't vote for him. And we should wait until we have one who understands our cause and then put our vote there. That's where we would have power. Is to be able to change this so we can start to dictate in saying that, hello, the image up there, you watch TV, what do our youngsters see? If he's not a sports person or an entertainer, there is no future. These things have to stop. We can't sit back here. We pay TV license and everything else. We have to force the TV and the media to change your viewpoint. That you start to show diversity so our kids can be motivated and to inspire like any other white kids. Why aren't the white kids going to stabbing up each other? Because they can identify themselves everywhere. Our youngsters can't see life. And why should you, as a youngster born and accepted to be at the bottom. Your pride and joy will force you. Anybody would do what our youngsters are doing, trying to improve it, but in the sense that they don't have any direction. I can say because when we was young, we was the same, but in the sense that we wasn't as vicious as our youngsters here now. It wasn't black on black. We was fighting the system. Now our youngsters is fighting each other. They forget who they're supposed to be fighting. They should be fighting the position that they can't see black people are people of color. That's where we're supposed to do it. Kicking down the door where we can't see diversity. And that's my view, and that's what FIWI is about, is kicking down the door where we cannot see diversity, because it's about we're creating a future for our youngsters.
You touched on Welton Road, and you're saying, which used to be Frontline, or is it still called Frontline now? Or
no,
was it classed,
there's no more Frontline.
Class it now?
No.
And why is it such a spiritual kind of place for you?
I've got to say, as I said, I've got to say, I watch my community from a unity community where everybody loves each other to a community of all vipers. Okay? Before the 1981, Brixton was a spiritual place. There was no place in England that we feel safe. When we come onto Relton Road, Relton Road, from Atlantic Road up to Relton Road, God, it was like you're in Africa or Jamaica. It's the only place in this country where you feel free, for the simple reason that there was a gang of us, there was lots of us who have the same direction. We didn't scared to go to prison. Prison was a part of status. Prison was a part of saying that the system said, okay, our old folks said, oh, you're a bad boy, you're going to prison, you're not good. Prison was our stripe of telling us that we didn't accept what the system was doing to us, okay? Than to be a person who said, oh no, I am good. I don't want to be good, right, to be a servant of making no progress. I'd rather go and visit the prison where I know, say, I fight to change my life and the life of my kids coming through. So, so to be obedient ain't gonna help you, because the system don't see itself doing nothing. So you gotta put it in his face. You gotta get into a position where you and the system is arguing because you need what's best for you and your future that comes in after, which is the kids then.
So are there any other places where you would say are special in Brixton or mean something to you?
No, the only place in Brixton the only place in this country that mean anything is now, it used to be Shakespeare Road, no, Brixton, what you call Relton Road, but that is changed now. The only place that means something now is Brixton Recreation Center. People don't realize the importance of this building here.
Please explain further.
Right, I will, because it's very, very important. You see, this is the most important building in Europe, right, for black people. The reason why I'm saying it, before the 1981 riot, there was nothing here for black people. Didn't work in bank, couldn't be police, didn't have no position, okay? All these ones who working inside the town hall, they wasn't there. It was after 1981 when Lord Scarman report stated that they forced the system to accept that we're here. And when we told Lord Scarman the reason why we are in front of him with the police, because we don't have anywhere to go. So Lord Scarman decided to tell them to build the Brixton Recreation Center, because there was a plan in motion set quite a while back that they want to put a center here, a sport center here. But after the riot, Lord Scarman realized that there was a plan for putting a sports center. So we tell them to speed it up. And the sports center was for us guys on the street, on Relton Road, to get off the street, come in here, find things that you can do, get qualified, and if you can, is to come back to be like me, where you come in here off the street, this save your life, get qualified, and come back in with a program that really changing youngsters' life. So that's what I said, a FIWI is like the phoenix that rise from the ashes. The ashes is 1981 riot, Brixton Recreation Center. is the phoenix that's rise. And a theory is the part that brings our youngsters to what it's supposed to be. Top Cat, Jimmy Roger, God bless his soul, was a wonderful man. It's a man that there should be some form of recognition, pluck of this man work into this building here. So our youngsters and people in the community know that if you really want to help the community, it's not a government-run program, because Jimmy Roger program is like mines. The government-run program ain't going to be successful because you're limited to what you can do.
Can you explain the Jimmy
Roger? Well, Jimmy Roger program is a basketball. He's the one who, there's a guy called Ding Dong, who get a £50 million contract in America, Chicago Bull, from Jimmy Roger Top Cat upstairs, okay, with a basketball. So that's what really give that basketball upstairs status. And when the first Olympic take place into this country, there was about 6 or 5 of Top Cat girls and boys who was in the Olympic. See?
And Top Cat is the basketball team.
Top Cat is the basketball. Jimmy Roger is the person who passed away last year. There should be a plaque in here of the work that man has done. I watched this man here when I first come out of Her Majesty confinement, because I rent a spot right beside him, because his basketball was on that side and my football was on the opposite side. So I could hear Mr. Roger. And Mr. Roger, I look at myself as the younger version to Mr. Roger. Mr. Roger is very vicious. His voice is loud. He controls his program by his voice. If the breeze blow, you hear Mr. Roger voice. Okay? That's where success is. So my program is similar like that. If the breeze blow, you hear my voice. Every youngster's coming to my place after know I said, my job is to learn you how to be successful. Learning that discipline and what you call disciplined environment, an environment that's set up for success, is what we got to let our kids get the experience of. Unless you pay money and send your kids to private school, you will never get to an environment where it's a successful environment. It's an environment where pressure is needed. You have to deliver. The environment that the government puts out is an environment where youngsters comes in and do what they want. That's no good. You're breeding kids who don't have no respect, don't have no manners, don't respect the elders. You are asking for trouble, especially when it concerns our black kids who are very spiritual. If they don't have mother and father firm grips, that when he comes 16 and those age and decide to leave home and realize that the world is at the bottom, if he doesn't have that strong discipline from a boy growing up, that somebody there to tell him, no, you can't do that, then who's going to stop him when he realizes that he's at the bottom? He's going to go astray and he's going to go crazy, because if my mother and father couldn't discipline me, then you can't discipline me. See? So it's very important that we, so that is why a lot of parents bring their kids, come to my football, mainly for discipline. Because they know that in India, I am very, very strict on the youngsters then, but each kids are coming to my environment. I become their father, their uncle, their grandparent. My job, I've got to have that. You see, the parents sit down and watch. And I become, as I said, we are family. My duty, like each kids, you have some kids that you don't have to shout at, and some kids you have to shout at because he's testing you. But one thing you realize, if you love that child, even when you shout at that child will feel the love, because he knows it. You're shouting at him because you want him to get better, and he knows it because he can feel it. There is difference between when you love a child and you raise your voice than when you hate a child and you raise your voice. There's two different things. Okay? So, that's what I realize. And as I said, I've got parents coming back, telling me everything and these things here. Back to the Brixton Recreation Center, as I was saying, this building here, because in 1981, Nelson Mandela stated that this building here actually free him. Nelson Mandela was in Robben Island. He was never going to come back out of Robben Island when he was sent there. The only reason why Nelson Mandela was released from Robben Island was because of the 1981 riot into this country. Right? Because what they're thinking that we couldn't afford to have Nelson Mandela locked away. We're going to need him to quench the flavor of what was going on at the time. They was thinking that maybe they're going to be an uprising of black people because they wasn't too sure. So Nelson Mandela was a form of a way of calming, like saying that we are accepting that, okay, we are changing. That's why when Nelson Mandela come to England, he come and visit Brixton Recreation Centre.
So you're saying that they used him as well, not used him, but he was used or portrayed or released to
yes.
help subdue
yes,
what
yes,
they
yes,
might happen
yes,
in terms
because
of everybody.
yes, remember, at the time you have all organization was showing about free Nelson Mandela, and all of these stuff there. The 1981 riot triggered off everything. It changed America. People don't realize that. Before the 1981 riot, where was America? Did you see America stars break out? Did you see America, did Michael Jackson appear and so on? There was nothing. We never know nothing of America. The 1981 riot in this country triggered off the Rodney King riot that takes place in America. After that riot, the so-called Bloods and Crits called truths that allow the media to go into the ghetto and understand the life of what these black guys was living to America. Then it brings a new flavor over here. What it brings new music that we didn't understand, because remember, we grew up in an environment where we used to listen to Bob Marley, Dennis Brown, and all music that telling us about who we are, keeping us in the light, in the dark, giving us self-esteem. There wasn't no self-esteem nowhere else apart from reggae music telling us, don't bother, this is why this is happening. Okay? So, to see, a lot of people don't realize. And then when that done, and they open up, and the American style start coming through, the first thing that I remember as a young person in the late 80s is a music called gangster rap. And I'm saying, hello, this music saying niggas this, kill niggas this, and all. I'm saying, bloody hell. These guys are talking about killing each other. And that's what, and you watch it slowly, until now, it gone over till Jamaican reggae music now come the same way. You know what I mean? First time all Jamaican reggae music was about the Babylon system, the system doing us problem, and all this stuff there. It wasn't never about killing each other. That started from gangster rap and American style coming over and bring segregation. Now, we're like vipers. We're scared of each other. I mean, you see a bunch of black kids on there and you get jumpy. First time, my God, that was my savior. See, so things have changed. It's about knowing, letting these ones know, say, no, we wasn't like this. We're not American. Britain is not a segregation environment. There is no community in England that is predominant blacks or people of color. Predominant, every what you call community in this country is predominant white. I mean, it's not like America. So why are we heading that way?
So according to you, Brixton riots was the trigger for many worldwide...
Change the world.
Yeah.
Change the world. That is why, again, Brixton Archive, in my views, the first...
Cultural archive or the archive?
The Black Culture Archive. The first thing you're supposed to do when you walk into there is you should see the 1981 riots. That's the change of everything in this country. Before the 1981, black people wasn't here. Even if he was here, he was invisible. He wasn't here. 1981 is when black people finally arrived in this country because the system finally recognized that you now is a part of it. Okay? Before that, you wasn't. Until the last common report comes out and tell the system who you are, what they're doing, They passed equal opportunity law. Everybody now gains from the equal opportunity. But do we gain? We go backwards. I have a say. We did not fight the 1981 for segregation. We fought for acceptance, meaning that I watch all in our community, every community, I'm saying to myself, where are the white kids? Why can't I see white kids and black kids into primary school? I see primary school, I mainly see black kids and kids of color. And over there, there's one where you maybe have mainly whites and a few blacks in there. I'm saying that this is discrimination. This is breeding gang mentality. And they're saying to me, that is why I don't, when the council send me these papers of saying, okay, what race are you? I don't mark it. Because as far as I'm concerned, why should you ask me what race I am? It means that way, you're going to be able to put me where you want to put me. And your intention, you've never shown me that you have my intention of art. I've got to fight for everything. I've got to fight to be recognized as a human being into you who takes me from Africa, bring me to the West Indies, and this is my motherland. You're supposed to be the one who's looking after me. And I've got to fight for everything. So no. You understand? So this is where we stand. It's about us getting into a position and knowing that said, hello, we're going to bring program in to be able to uplift our youngsters. And we're going to force the government to also accept that we is a part of this system. We is the first on this planet here. And we will never go away. But we're not going to sit back and generation after generation, we stay the same. No. You know, so it's about us grabbing the bull by the horn, getting qualified, and taking control.
So, to finish up, I'm going to challenge you in one sentence. How would, what was I going to say? How has living in Brixton and growing up in Brixton and experiencing this area, how has it influenced you or shaped you?
Well, I've known no other place. You know, everything about me, first I arrived from Jamaica, I went to the school, Efra School, on Shakespeare Road. No, on Relton Road. I live on Shakespeare Road. That's off Relton. So it was like I look at myself and say that maybe it was meant to come from Jamaica to do what you're doing here now. Because for you to be able to do what I'm doing, you have to live the life, okay? I come from a place where, I've never really experienced a city. I come from a bush. Where I come from, there wasn't no street light. There was, I don't know if you know Peony, these little light things.
Yeah, Peony Wally.
Peony Wally, right? So,
Fireflies.
right, so I come out of an environment where, that's what I used to see nighttime.
Yeah.
Okay? No light, nothing at all. I didn't know what radio is. When I see TV first time, I thought a man was in the TV. So, I come from way back. Right? So the first city, because don't forget, I didn't go to Jamaica where I said, okay, I spent time in Kingston, in the city, or Montego Bay. I come from the rural part. So the first big city I see was this one here. So all my education, so everything about me is British. Okay? I always say to people again, even though I've got criminal conviction, my generation of fathers and mothers, police have never knocked their door.